than an attack at the White House Correspondents Dinner in Washington, D.C. There was an attempt. It's hard to even necessarily describe. I mean, it was a shooting at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. It wasn't a shooting that ever actually made it into sort of the main room where the dinner was taking place, but it was a shooting at the hotel that was an alleged attempt to get into that room. And there has been reporting that there were also sort of some alleged what you would maybe call mission statements of sorts to target high-profile members of the Trump administration. That is the reporting that we have seen thus far. So a California man has been arrested in connection with that shooting. That individual is a tutor and an amateur video game developer. And the exact reporting here is very straightforward, opposed to the policies of President Donald Trump. Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California, taken into custody at that dinner Saturday night in Washington. And if you just go through sort of his basic information that we've gotten so far, 31 years old. He had sent a message to family members minutes before the attack. He had railed against recent actions taken by the United States government under Trump. He did not name the president directly, according to a copy of the message he sent that was obtained by the Associated Press. So still a lot of details that everyone is working through as we are just now 2 days past this shooting that took place. Obviously, it's been one that is, in terms of the sort of modern view of a story like this, there have been an immense amount of videos and pictures and breakdowns that have trickled out on social media. The White House Correspondents' Dinner is attended by a number of members of the media, and this was an event where you have what appears to be a shooting at a hotel where nearly every top administration official in the line of succession for the president takes place. Everyone in that, Secret Service and security with guns rush into that ballroom and tell everyone to get under their tables and escort out top administration officials. It is, for all intents and purposes, a frightening situation, and yet you have interviews, questions, videos of attendees as they file out of that room with all different sorts of attitudes, opinions, and understandings of what happened. So there's so much information out there, but we're trying to make sure that we get as much of a picture of the individual who has been arrested in connection to this case as we can while we go through. Chaos and confusion most definitely stand out as you watch those videos, as shots were fired with the gunman charged toward the ballroom where that correspondence dinner was taking place. Now, what we do have is a press conference from yesterday with Jen Kiggins that one of our reporters attended and asked a couple of questions, some of which are about everything that transpired on Saturday. So we're going to take a listen to this interview from yesterday with Congresswoman Jen Kiggins that one of our reporters was at covering the event in general, and see if she has any information, insight, or thoughts on what we saw Saturday afternoon.
Political violence, right? We've got to end this divisive rhetoric that we see, especially coming from the left these days, but it's got to stop. I'm thankful for our law enforcement. I'm thankful that the president is okay and all of the members of Congress and his staff that were there, but this political violence has got to stop.
Thank you. Races like this are typically difficult for members of the same party as the president. What are you looking to do differently in this upcoming election in November? What do you want voters to take away as we approach the election?
Yeah, well, we've never lost an election, and I've won this every time I've run for this seat. We have won, so we're not going to change too much because we don't change what's not broken, don't fix it. But the voters of the 2nd District know who I am. This is not my first rodeo. We've been around in politics. We've been
Okay, that froze. That has frozen there. As you saw, the second question already moving on to the impending midterm elections. But we did hear at least one answer there about political violence and the need to stop political violence from Jen Kiggins. More information as we kind of work through what we know about Allen, the individual who's been arrested in connection to this attack. Authorities say he'll face charges including using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer, along with other possible counts. A search of state and federal court databases showed no indication that Allen had ever previously been charged with a crime. You see that picture on your screen of him in the hotel that night while being apprehended there. Sort of a chilling photo in that moment as he is taken into custody. He signed, let's see, excuse me for one moment here. Now, the Associated Press does limit the use of attackers' writings and social media posts to avoid amplifying their views or encouraging copycat actions. So instead, more of a summary here of some of what was said by Allen in the lead up to this event. He was also arrested with 2 firearms and knives. Law enforcement officials told the AP that Allen legally bought a .38 caliber semi-automatic pistol in October of 2023 and a 12-gauge shotgun last year. There has also been widespread canvassing of his neighborhood, and we have a live shot actually of the alleged shooter's house there. That is currently a camera set up outside the home as we speak. Voter registration records from California listed Allen's home address as his parents' house on a tree-lined street in one of the most historic neighborhoods in Torrance, California, which is within the Los Angeles metro area. Public records show he's the oldest of 4 adult siblings with 2 younger sisters and a brother. And again, remember, we mentioned just a couple minutes ago, he sent a message to members of his family, sort of alluding to what he was going to do or what his mindset was. You see the sign in the yard there just in front of that vehicle. That is support for a local candidate for judge who was endorsed by the LA County Democratic Party. Federal campaign finance records show that Cole Allen contributed $25 to a Democratic Party political action committee in support of Kamala Harris for president in 2024 and listed his employer as C2 Education. As we said, a tutor along with other jobs for Cole Allen. A 2024 post on the C2's Facebook page listed Allen as the company's Teacher of the Month. C2 Education, C2 Facebook page had him as Teacher of the Month. So just, I know that this is rambling a little bit as we try to gather all of this information, but just trying to get a background, a summary, an understanding of who this individual was that has been arrested in connection to this attack at the White House Correspondents Dinner. So for now, we will continue to work through that information and monitor any new information that comes in. I know that a lot of viewers, this is something that since Saturday has been a constant flow of information. We want to make sure that we have an organized and updated portion of that for you here on Live Impact, so we'll continue to work to do that. For the time being,